record. The Bombers entered today's game with a 10-4 record. Today's game will be conducted under the rules and regulations of the MCC and the WIAA. All spectators are encouraged to root for their team and are asked to display good sportsmanship towards opponents and officials. Spectators who make harassing comments, including those of a racial or sexual nature, will be removed from the field. We would like to remind you that RSD is a tobacco-free school district. Tobacco products and alcoholic beverages are not permitted on school property. Signs other than the official school ban and the use of any type of noisemakers are strictly prohibited. We hope you will enjoy today's contest and support our efforts to respect human dignity by promoting good citizenship and sportsmanship in high school interscholastic athletics. Attention fans, if you have friends and family who want to follow along but can't be here today or live out of town, well, the game is being broadcast live on YouTube by our Best in Class Atomic TV program. To watch the game, head to youtube.com and search for Atomic TV for all the action. On deck, a fantastic Friday of baseball. Riverhawks, Bombers, next.
Welcome back to Atomic TV. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Rylan Hubbard, here with my color commentator, Tate Meyer. And today we have an in-conference matchup between the Richland Bombers against the Chiawana Riverhawks. So far, the Richland Bombers this year in conference play are 8-3. Chiawana Riverhawks are 9-7. It is 78 degrees here at Bomber Field for first pitch at 4 o'clock. We have 2 games coming to you guys, here at 4 and here at 6. And we'll be right with you guys after the national anthem.
I got you saying about could get under, the net's pretty tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Here come your Richland Bombers.
Welcome back after the national anthem as both teams take the field. The Bombers going in to start defense on this one, and obviously Riverhawks hitting to start this inning. We'll go through the lineups. We'll start with the Bombers in the field.
On the mound, number 26, Michael Ravel.
All right, and we got Hayden Galloway catching today. We got Michael Ravel on the pitching mound. Braylon Edwards at first base. Dylan Parrott at second base. Carter Meyer at shortstop. Jackson Woodard at third. Colson Mackey in right field. Caden Castro at center. And Jake Brandon in left. Meyer, do you want to give the rundown for the batting order of the Riverhawks?
Absolutely. For the Chiawana Riverhawks, managed by Severo Rodriguez, his fourth season at the helm of the Riverhawks, a 49-56 record. We'll start off with Cooper Sisting. He will catch. Adrian Chavez will bat second. Will play short. Peyton Sisting will pitch. Cassius Castillo will designate hit today. He'll bat in the cleanup spot. Brecken Lindgren will play first. Bryce Burkett will play right. Trip Bonderman will play third. Garrett Short will play left. And Devin Twitty will be at second base and bat ninth for the Riverhawks. Finally, like you said, Michael Ravel on the hill for your Richland Bombers. Michael Ravel on the season, 19 in the third innings pitched, 14 hits, 15 runs surrendered, 10 of those that were earned, 28 strikeouts, and 15 walks on the season. He maintains a 3.66 ERA and a 5-0 record on the season.
It's nice to see Ravel on the bump to start game one. Most likely we'll see Edwards on the bump to do game two. Obviously, they're 1-2 aces. It's hard to classify who's really the ace of this team. Edwards and Ravel going neck and neck. Who's the better pitcher? Obviously, you have two different stuff, and we'll see Mike Ravel's stuff as Cooper Sisney checks in the box for the first at bat of this game. And first pitch from Ravel, high and inside for ball one.
78 degrees.
Sisney batting .375 overall this season.
Second pitch fouled off. Into the batting cage as it goes for 1-1.
Sisney .375, 4 doubles. That leads the Riverhawks. 10 stolen bases this season, 13 RBI, and 14 runs scored.
I'm going to sky it out into center. Calling it off and making the catch is Castro for the first out of this game.
Coming to play, shortstop number 1, Adrian Chavez.
And the shortstop, Adrian Chavez, checking in the box.
Chavez, 404 hitter this season, 15 runs scored for the Riverhawks and 7 RBI.
Chavez swinging early on the first pitch of the count. Mike Ravel going off speed first pitch. Chavez extremely early.
Chavez has been at the top of the MCC batting list for the majority of the season.
Just clips that outside corner. Strike 2, 0-2 now. Chavez getting behind. Chavez protecting and fouls that fastball. Back off into the batting cages. Still 0-2. Another breaking ball, shoots it right up the middle, so a great piece of hitting for Adrian Chavez. As you said, Meyer, Chavez top of the MCC in batting average. He shows it off there. Going behind 0-2 early in the count and fights it for a base hit.
It's Chavez's 22nd base knock of the year. Steps Peyton Sisney for the Riverhawks, a .422 hitter. Sisney, the catcher primarily for the Riverhawks last season, now he's their ace this season. A pretty incredible 38 in the third innings pitched. But he's got his freshman brother Cooper behind the plate catching for him this year as well.
Owen to Sisney outside. 1-1. As you said, Sisney going to be on the bump today for the Riverhawks. He has a runner on first with 1 out. He has an opportunity to try to get himself some insurance. Make it a little bit easier to go in and pitch here away. And swung on chop, grounded by Parrott, and the throw is in time. The Bombers roll over and get a double play to end the inning. Mike Ravel walks off the mound comfortably, letting 1 runner get on, but after that, half the inning played, the Bombers hold the Riverhawks 2-0.
On the mound for Chiawana, number 8, Tatum Sisney.
And as the Riverhawks warm up to start the bottom of this first inning, we'll go through the Bombers batting order. Batting at 1 is Dylan Parrott, the second baseman. Batting second is Carter Upmeyer. Batting third, Hayden Galloway. Batting in cleanup is the pitcher, Michael Ravel. Batting fifth, Jacob Brannon. Then Caden Castro. Then at 7th, Braylon Edwards. Jackson Ward are hitting at 8th. And in the 9th spot, it's Colson Mackey. And speaking of them warming up, Tatum Sisney on the mound pitching. You want to run through his stats?
Tatum Sisney so far this season, again, 38 innings pitched for the Riverhawks. 51 hits surrendered, 32 runs, 18 of those were earned. 12 walks on the year, a 3.31
Leading off with the bomb
ERA,
squad, second baseman number 23, Dylan
strikeouts
Parrott.
for the Chiawana Riverhawks. But he'll face Dylan Parrott first, Ryland, who leads the MCC in walks drawn this year. So a lot of interesting matchups and the strengths and weaknesses of both the Bombers and the Riverhawks that we'll continue to highlight during this game.
Sisney's first pitch, outside for ball 1, as you said. Dylan Parrott gets ahead of counts pretty quickly against most pitchers. Swings that one and flies it shallow right. That could cause some trouble, but it will drop in time. Riverhawks retire him quickly.
Coming to the plate, shortstop number 3, Carter Upmeyer.
His first pitch fastball right down the middle, first strike 1, 0-1 to Upmeyer.
Carter Upmeyer batting .422 this season and batting .500 in conference play. Up there, I believe, I take a look over here, yep, second in batting average this conference season behind Cameron Owen and he improves that.
Exactly. Upmeyer just turns on that one. 1-1 pitch, gets the breaking ball inside and just splits the gap between the shortstop and the third baseman for another base hit. Upmeyer continues his hitting streak. Continues on the roll. Hayden Galloway checks into the box.
Galloway, we go from
Stepping in the catcher, number 5, Hayden Galloway.
Season, and even better for the Bombers, third in the MCC conference play in RBI. He bats first, he ranks first in RBI overall. And Galloway and Upmeyer put together 2 of the best offensive performances out at Kamayakin in that game on Tuesday.
And that lines right over the shortstop's head. Hayden Galloway swinging early and just gets that one over the head of Adrian Chavez. So we talked about Upmeyer's and Galloway's qualified batting average. And they prove our points extremely early, both getting early in the count base hits.
Now batting
put runners on
pitcher
first
number
and second
26,
for the cleanup hole, Michael Ravel.
They both had extra base hit games out at Kamiagan. So we'll touch on later that 9-2 loss for the Bombers puts them in a must-win situation here, and then a must-win situation on Tuesday if they want to repeat as conference champions. But Ravel batting .268, still driving in 16 runs this season.
Outside pitch just clips the corner. First strike 2, 0-2 to Ravel. Ravel's got to play the protect game. 0-2 to Ravel. Swings and lines that one right past the shortstop. Chavez unable to get both of those line drives to him, just out of his reach, and that's going to score Carter Upmeyer, and Ravel slides in safely to second base for an RBI double, and the Bombers have runners on second and third now with just 1 out.
Ravel drives in his 17th run of the season.
Now
Helps himself on the mound.
Jake Brennan.
The Bombers off to a great start here offensively.
Now senior Jake Brannon, the 5th batter, trying to score Ravel and Galloway. The 1-0. Breaking ball does not break enough. Too high for ball 2.
As a team, Richland batting .313, good for 3rd in the conference. Definitely increased that average with these 3 early hits early in this game.
And the low and outside breaking ball makes it ball 3. Jake Brannon most likely will take this pitch. 3-0. Takes a strike right down the middle. 3-1 now, so Brandon has the green light.
Sometimes that 3-0 pitch, you know it's going to be called a strike. Sometimes I think about swinging on that, but Brandon draws the walk anyway.
Exactly, it's got to be hard, especially when you know that he's just going to lob one right in there for strike 1.
Castro now stepping in for the Bombers. Castro 282 hitter, but batting .467 in conference play. Definitely improved his batting average once we got into conference play. And he's got 3 ducks on the pond waiting for him in this at-bat.
Castro lines that one, grounds that one right through the first baseman and second baseman. They're going to send Ravel into home, and the throw cut off, but not before Caden Castro drives in 2 runs. So the Bombers now with a 3-0 early lead. Bombers striking early in these at-bats. We haven't seen a lot of them even get to 2 strikes because they're swinging on that first or second pitch. It's working extremely well.
Bombers seeing the zone early and batting well, putting the bat on the ball.
Stepping in, first baseman number 4, Braylon Edwards.
And Sisney's last outing at Kennewick was not a good one. He was ran after the 1 2/3 innings. So
the strike
starting off pretty similar.
The strike outside, but not before Castro takes second base. Edwards now has runners in scoring position. The 0-1 swung and flied in the center. Looks like it's going to be deep enough. Brandon's tagging from third. He has that running back speed, and he gets there in time, standing up. Bombers now tally 4 in this first inning to make it 4-0. Braylon Edwards getting the second out, but he does his job and scores Brandon from third.
Good sac fly there from Braylon Edwards, does his job.
Jackson Woodard.
Now in the 8-hole, Jackson Woodard. Still has a runner in scoring position with Castro. A little too low. Ball 1.
I alluded to several Bombers batting better once we got to conference play. Unfortunately, not the case for Jackson Woodard. 158 in conference play, 250 overall.
As you said, Woodard struggling in conference play. Bombers swinging the bat really well in this first inning. Hitting is a contagious thing. Hopefully Woodard can take advantage of that and try to get one through this infield.
Caden Castro playing a little mind game with Tate and Sisney on the hill. Forced Sisney to step off twice now.
Jackson grounds that one just short, fielded, thrown in time. So a great play from Adrian Chavez. Gets Sisney out of it, but not without the Bombers tallying on 4. So after 1 inning of the play, it's the Bombers 4, the Riverhawks 0. As the Michael Revelle continues to warm up that arm after scoring in a couple of RBIs for himself to make it easier.
Leading up for the Riverhawks, DH
Riverhawks
Cassius
checking
Castillo.
into the box to lead off in the second inning. This is the DH, Cassius Castillo.
Castillo, a .326 hitter for the Riverhawks.
First pitch, high and outside, barely gets in the zone for strike 1. That one's chopped. Dylan Parrott's going to have a hard play. Gloves it, throws, and in time to Edwards for the first out. Actually,
Stepping in, first baseman number 20, Brecken Lindgren.
now Lindgren steps in for his first at-bat of the game. That one's lined right up the middle, off the bag, and it's going to bounce to the left, right of Upmeyer. Lindgren gets Chiawana started just like last inning. The Bombers retired the first batter, and the second batter gets on.
Coming to the plate,
So
right
now with a
fielder
runner on
17,
first,
Reese
no
Burkett.
outs. So
Right
right
hit the pitching rubber and the second base. Very, very difficult for anybody to make a play.
I'm not sure even if that didn't hit the bag, if Upmeyer would have been able to throw out Lindgren in time.
Here's Reese Burkett for the Riverhawks. Burkett 10th in conference play, 4.88 average, 4.36 overall.
So late on that fastball from Ravel. Fouls it off, making it 0-2. Last time Ravel might be getting a little bit of deja vu. Got his batter to 0-2 after letting a runner get on first, but was able to get them to ground into a double play to end the inning. 0-2 high and outside, ball 1.
Galloway is signaling for a high fastball, but not quite that high.
Galloway gets his glove on that breaking ball. Way too outside. Able to keep it in front of him. Holding that runner at first. Now 2-2 is the count even.
Riverhawks have 28 stolen bases this season. And again, 10 of those belong to Tate and Sisney.
Laid on another fastball, but fights it off.
Play.
2-2 to Burkhead. Low and outside. Galloway trying to go back to first. Edwards just dabs his body in front of it, knowing he's not able to get the out, but just wants to keep it in front of him.
Unusual missed throw there from Hayden Galloway. Difficult play, definitely, in the back pick from catcher to first, but certainly a play that he's done before, and he's very good at it. So
0-2 to full count line. Right up the middle for a beautiful base hit from Reese Burkhead.
Coming to the plate, third baseman number 58, Trip Bunderman.
So the Riverhawks threatening his donut on the scoreboard. Michael Ravel having runners on first and second, only one out. Ravel's got to try and take advantage right now. He's facing the 7, 8, 9 batters for the Riverhawks with runners on. So if you're going to have runners on, this is exactly the part of the order you want to be facing. Bonderman grounds that to Woodard. Woodard fields it, throws in time to Parrott. Parrott's throw for the double play is in time. So Michael Ravel back-to-back opportunities. He rolls into double plays for the Bombers to get out of the inning. Going to the second inning, bottom of the second inning, Bombers 4, Riverhawks 0.
I saw him before when I are you going out there? Are you going to see my dad after this? Oh.
Back to Bomber Field. We head to the bottom half of
Leading
the
off the
second inning.
second.
Leading off the second
Right
will be
fielder
Colson Mackey.
Colson Mackey.
Running around the MCC today, Hermiston is at Southridge. Walla Walla plays at Kennewick at Roy Johnson Field. And Kamaikan and Braves are at Pasco. And I alluded to the conference picture earlier. Colson Mackey takes ball one. Kamaikan taking the 9-2 decision on Tuesday of this week against the Richland Bombers, the home-and-home matchup. Kamaikan sitting at 10-1 in conference play. Richland 9-2, Kennewick 8-3, Hanford 8-5, Chiawana at 5-6, Southbridge 5-7, Walla Walla 4-7.
Mackey lines that one to left and able to make the play for the first out of the inning.
Coming to plate, second baseman, number 23,
Vasco
Dylan
2-9,
Harris.
Hermerson 1-12. The Bombers have everything to play for in front of them, no doubt. They'll host the Kamaikan Braves this Tuesday here at Bomber Field.
That one clips the zone first, strike one to Parrott.
You saw the leather being flashed by
And another pop up in the infield, calling it off and making the play. It's Blake and Lindgren.
Now batting shortstop number 3, Carter Ruppmeyer.
Outside ball one. One of the Ruppmeyer swings and turns on that breaking ball inside. But there to make the play, so getting busy is Garrett Short in left field. Makes both of the plays to retire 2 Bombers. So after 2 innings of play, it's the Bombers 4, the Riverhawks 0.
Leading off the third for the Riverhawks.
All right, welcome back for the start of this
Short.
third inning. The Bombers unable to tack anything else on in that second inning, so the score remains 4-0. Mike Ravel still on the mound. His first pitch, low and outside, ball one.
There's Short, 267 hitter. Shore up some of these number discrepancies for you in a second. But the Bombers flashing the leather here early, Ryland, and something that they struggled with out at Kamaikan on Tuesday. That one was fouled off. Bombers committing 3 crucial errors that led to 3 Kamaikan runs in the third and the fourth inning to enable the Kamaikan the Braves to separate themselves. 2-2 ball game after 2.5 innings. But again, infield play letting them down. So good to see they're shoring that up here early in this one.
Ravel, fastball too high to make the count even, 2-2. Pitch too high to make a full count. Garrett Short working his way right back into this at bat. Swung and barely fouled off on that fastball.
Got it.
Very short fighting off. Still full count. So the batter and the pitcher will reset and do things again. Fastball low and outside. It's low and outside for ball 4.
Coming to the plate, second
Ravel for
base
the
number
third
5,
time.
Devin Twitty.
Excuse me. EX for the 3rd time this game in each inning. He's put a runner on, but has not surrendered a run quite yet.
Like a bit of a misstep there from Ravel on his landing foot on that ball 4.
Runs it to Galloway. It bounces off the plate. So foul ball 0-1.
Good attempt there by Galloway, trying to convince the umpire being fair. Making a double play possible.
Pretty showing bunt again. Puts that right to Ravel. Ravel fields it. Tosses it to Edwards for the first out of the inning. But not without Twitty doing his job and advancing that runner into scoring position now for the top of the order.
Stepping in, catcher number 7, Cooper Sisney.
So Cooper Sisney behind the plate. Had to watch the Bombers score 4 in the first inning and watch his brother surrender all those runs. Maybe try to get some revenge with runners in scoring position.
Sisney only a freshman, one of 4 freshmen in the starting lineup for Chiawana.
Pops this one out, way out of play. Ravel's 0-1. Gets in there for strike 2. 0-2 to Sisney. Ravel got up 0-2 in the count to Garrett Short, but lost him on a walk. 6 pitch at bat. Looking to bounce back and try to keep more of it in the zone. Force Sisney to swing. Now Ravel's 0-2. But ball does not get into the zone. Ball 1, 1-2. One due to Sisney. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ravel gets the second out of this inning. Striking out Cooper Sisney, the freshman.
Coming to the plate, shortstop number 1, Adrian Chavez.
Good fastball there, strikeout pitch from Ravel. Tried to get him to chase on the inside pitch with a breaking ball, didn't connect, but came back to the fastball.
So now you go from freshman to senior. Adrian Chavez trying to score with runners in scoring position. Ravel tries to pick him off, but thrown in the outfield. Castro just holds on to it, gives it to Parrott. So now that makes it even easier for Chavez. Really, anything out of this infield will score.
He praised the Bomber infield early, but unforced error lets a Chiawana Riverhawk advance 90 feet.
Fastball outside for strike 1, 0-1. One breaking ball turned on, popped up shallow, and caught by Brandon for out number 3. Once again, Ravel surrenders some traffic on the base pass, but is able to accommodate and get all 3 outs without letting one score. Bombers 4, Riverhawks 0.
Every one of them is giving up giving in, tell me, in this house of mine. Nothing ever comes without a consequence of cost, tell me, will the stars align? Will heaven step in, will it save us from a sin, will it? Cause this house of mine stands strong. That's the price you pay. Leave behind your heart and cast away. Just another product of today.
Another kid too. No, the short kid, I think he's Come on! Come on! Let me see the light in the dark tree shadowing. What's happening? Looking through the glass, find the wrong within the past, knowing we are the
Now Hayden Galloway stepping in the box to start off for the Bombers
Leading
in
out
the bottom of the third.
for the Bombers, catcher number 5, Hayden Galloway.
Go Hayden.
Sisney staying on the mound for the Riverhawks. Breaking balls, first strike one. That one outside, ball one, 1-1. Sisney at 28 pitches.
Sisney works quick,
I like the chain.
just like we talked about last season with Ammerman and Bennett. Bombers' two aces. They worked quickly, kept the hitters off balance. Tate definitely keeps people off balance with his tempo, something that not quite used to with our two pitchers in Ravel and Edwards this season, but each pitcher has their comfortability, and Tate definitely an up-tempo guy.
And lined in the center, shallow, and it drops for another base hit. Hayden Galloway continuing that hot hitting streak for him. 2 for 2 tonight. It wasn't the hardest hit ball, but it landed where nobody was. Ravel now checking into the box.
Stepping in, pitcher number 26, Michael Ravel.
Just got to hit them where they ain't. Galloway definitely did that. Put the ball in play, see what happens.
Ravel turns on the one, almost hitting Galloway, going to second. And another Bomber base hit. Runners on the corners. Ravel got to be careful. He has a lot of power from that left side of the box. I'd like to see the exit velo on that one. Almost smokes Galloway in the leg.
Hit and run on. Galloway running. Galloway wouldn't be on the base pass if this is early in the season, but left in to run the bases himself. Nobody out. Hit and run successful. And the Bombers.
Now batting left fielder 24, Jake Brennan.
So good.
Jake Brennan told to tuck in his pocket. Umpire calling time, checks back into the box, showing bunt on the first pitch, takes it high. Ravel steals second. They do the classic Little League play here, stealing second base and having the runner from third go home. And the Riverhawks fall for it. And just like that, the Bombers score another one here in the third, 5-0. And you just wonder, is that possibly a little bit of inexperience from the freshman behind the plate throwing down to second?
Could say that, but the Sisney brothers have been great athletes, and Tate and Sisney was the catcher last year, so I doubt inexperience was a factor. The Bombers got bit on that Tuesday at Kamaiak, and Hayden Galloway behind the plate throwing down on a first and third situation, and the ball getting behind Dylan Parrott and Carter Upmeyer, creating an error that also led to a run score. So they can bite anybody at any time. Comes down to execution at the end of the day. Bombers executing the hit and run great here. Tucker Watkins in at second base running for Michael Ravel, courtesy running.
Watkins diving back in the second base. Sisney's 1-1 pitch. Taken high for ball 2, 2-1. Two under Brandon. Swung and chopped to short. Watkins thinks about going to third. Decides not to. Brandon barely doesn't beat it out by his step. Watkins stays at second.
Very close call with Brandon at first. Definitely quick enough to beat out an infield hit. Almost did there.
Stepping in, center fielder number 6, Caden Castro.
Caden Castro, the lefty, getting the start in the first game with the Riverhawks throwing a righty. Strike outside corner for ball 1. Excuse me, strike 1.
Good heads-up base running there by Tucker Watkins, realizing he was going to be stopped by Chavez at shortstop, and then stopping and returning to second to not get thrown out on the base path.
Taden Sisney looks back at Watkins again. Last couple innings, he looks pretty worried about the runners on the base path. Takes a long look. Watkins runs, and they try to do a little hit and run with Castro, but Castro fouls it off just right of the first base bag. Castro down 0-2 on the count. Still a runner in scoring position. Speed of Watkins. Outside. Ball 1, 1-2.
Scoring update for you at home and here in the press box. Lady Bombers up on the Kennewick Lions early 8-0 over at Columbia Playfields.
Another off-speed too high. 2-2 even. Caden Castro going down to 0-2, trying to fight his way back into this one. Too strong. High up in the center. Watkins is going to have to get those wheels back to second base again, and he does. So Castro flies out. Second out of this inning. Braylon Edwards, the first baseman, now up to bat.
Stepping in, first baseman number 4, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards would sure love to get a base hit. Bombers had a runner in scoring position with 0 outs after Ravel scored. Ravel was taken out. Watkins decides to go a little bit late to throw in time, but behind him, and now Watkins is going to run to home. The throw to the left is not in time either, so Watkins, I talked about the Little League steal there. Watkins gets a Little League run with an air from the throw down to third. Bombers 6-0 on the Riverhawks now. Braylon Edwards gets a hit. Might be a little disappointed because you won't get an RBI on the stat sheet. 1-0. Edwards fouls that off behind the press box. 1-1.
He might be, but Braylon Edwards being the 6th man in basketball, I know he's more of a team player. He won't mind that a run was scored without his effort.
Outside to Edwards. Edwards swings and turns on a fastball just a little bit early. Count remains the same. Sisson's Here's 1-2, grounded to the second baseman, fielded in time, and thrown in time to retire Edwards. So a good play from Devin Twitty. Retires the side, but not without the Bombers tacking on 2 in the third. It's the Bombers 6, the Riverhawks 0. And as Taden Sisney checks in the box for the Riverhawks, looking to do some damage after giving up 6 runs in the first 3 innings to this Bomber offense.
Pitcher number 8, Taden Sisney.
Outside for ball 1. Ravel in the 4th inning. He's going to have to face the 3 batters, Sisney, and the cleanup Cassius Castillo, and then the 5th batter, Brecken Lindgren. So it's not going to be an easy 3 outs. Outside ball 2, 2-0. Swung and popped out to right field, but out of play. So Sisney gets jammed on that fastball from Ravel, but just trailed away from Colson Mackey and right. Sisney checks back in. 2-1 is the count. Pitch. Taken 3-1. Umpire says just a little bit too high. Outside ball 4. If you haven't watched this game in the first 3 innings, you might be a little scared. Ravel putting on the first runner, but as I said last inning as well, he's put on a runner all 3 innings before this and was able to get out of the jam. So this isn't anything new to Ravel.
Should be a good matchup here on the base pass, like I alluded to earlier. Take the Sisney. 10 stolen bases. Hayden Galloway, very good behind the plate.
First pitch fastball fouled off, strike 1, 0-1.
Galloway's got a great pop time and a great arm. See if the Riverhawks want to challenge him.
Bell checks down to first. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. The 1-1 to Castillo, no, picks off to first base, not in time. Sisney gets back. Obviously, we talked about that 10 stolen bases. Ravel probably keeping that in the back of his head, knowing that Sisney might take off at any moment. So Ravel will put that foot right back on the rubber and go right back at it. 1-1. Fastball taken low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. One almost in this identical spot, low and inside. 3-1.
Mound visit from Charlie Moody, Richland's assistant coach. Settle Ravel down here, probably take his mind off of the situation and tell him really to rely on his pitching rather than having Tate and Sisney over there dancing at first and getting in his head.
Exactly, and we've seen before a couple times this year, a little bit of last year, Ravel can get in his head just a little bit. I mean, he has such great velocity, but it comes with his defects, which the command might not be there 100% of the time. Now 3-1. Castillo's gonna have the green light for anything in the zone. Ravel's pitch outside, but fouled off by Castillo. 3-2, full count now. Sisney's probably going to take off on this pitch. Sisney almost takes off early and has to revert back, but it does not matter. Mike Ravel walks, cashes Castillo. So Castillo in 6 pitches.
Now batting, first base number 20, Brecken Lindgren.
Now runners on first and second. No outs for Michael Ravel. Stepping in, so Lindgren. Swings and fouls that one off right. Late on the fastball. Jammed him up on another fastball. 0-2. Mike Ravel gets ahead of the count. It's good for him. We haven't seen him get 0-2 or even get 0-1, I think, yet this inning on either of those batters. Mike Ravel checks down to first. Not in time.
Second time Ravel slipped on the mound. First time was with his landing foot in a delivery. That one losing his balance a little bit on the throw to first.
His 0-2. Just clips the outer edge for strike 3, so a backwards K for Lindgren. For every negative, there's a positive. Lindgren, negative striking out, but Mike Ravel is positive getting this first out of the inning, a big one for him. We've seen 2 double plays already to end the inning for Ravel. Trying to see if he can repeat that success, get himself out of another jam. First pitch.
Sorry, Rylan. When he's needed it, he's gone back to the fastball to get a strikeout. Fastballs haven't been locating early in the count, but when he needs it, he rears back and fires and locates the fastball really well. Breaking balls haven't been landing there for Ravel on punch-out pitches, however.
Breaking ball just gets inside. Strike 1, 1-1. To Burkett, grounded to second, fielded by Parrott, but he fumbles it and is able to touch second in time. So Ravel almost got his 3rd double play of this game to get himself out of the inning, but Parrott looks like stumbled a little bit before fielding it. Luckily, he was able to recover
Stepping in,
and
third
still
baseman
get the
number
runner at
15,
second.
Bunderman.
But now runners on the corners with 2 outs. Uvell shouldn't be too worried about the runners on the base path. Now that he has 2 outs, he should just worry on the man at the plate, try to get this 3rd out. The first pitch popped up, and that's going to do it for him. Colson Mackey fighting the sun. Now he's got to put some leg into it and fields it in time for the 3rd out of this inning. Mike Revelle gives himself out of another jam. It's the Bombers 6, the Riverhawks 0.
Fans, you looking for something a little salty, a little sweet? The concession stand is open with hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, candy, and more. Thank you for your support of RHS. Now pitching for Chiawana, number 10, Kyson Mackey.
Welcome back to Bomber Field here on the campus of Richland High School. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and as you might have heard from public address announcer Michael Belize, we have a pitching change for the Chiawana Riverhawks. Kyson Mackey on the hill for the Riverhawks, a sophomore. Before we get to what he has done this season, we'll give you Tate and Sisney's final line. 3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of those were earned, 1 walk and no strikeouts. 46 pitches and 30 strikes from Tate and Sisney. He goes behind the plate now. And subbing out of the game, it appears, is Cooper Sisney, his freshman younger brother. Kyson Mackey on the season again, only a sophomore, 17 in the 3rd inning, 16 hits, 20 runs scored, 13 of those were earned, 22 walks, a 5.32 ERA, and 29 strikeouts. Kyson Mackey's first hitter for the Richland Bombers will be Jackson Woodard.
As Jackson Woodard steps into the box.
Third baseman number 2, Jackson
Obviously, we all know
Woodard.
his brother Josh Woodard playing for the Bombers, but a little fun fact for you on the mound as well. As you said, Kyson Mackey also had a brother graduate playing baseball for the Riverhawks. Jackson Mackey, the catcher. So you have 2 younger brothers respectively batting to start this bottom of the 4th. Fastball clips the edge, strike 1.
The Riverhawks go from righty to lefty. Sisney a righty, Mackey a lefty. Should be beneficial for Jackson Woodard here at the plate as you go down the order. It already looks like the Richland Bombers are going to make a change in the batting order after Riverhawks pitching change.
The 1-2 to Woodard. Outside ball 2-2. You said the Bombers making the change. It looks like Colson Mackey will be taken out. instead of having to hit lefty-lefty. So Parker Schmoot, the sophomore, be up to bat and playing right. Pitch low and inside, ball 3, full count now to Woodard. Woodard grounds that up the middle, does not get through off the back foot, not in time. Jackson Woodard with an infield single. So a tough play for Devin Twitty at second. Was unable to get Woodard in time. Not the fastest guy down there, but got the
Pitch
ball
hitting for the Bombers,
exactly
number
where Twitty
19,
couldn't get
Parker Smooth.
So Parker Smoot checking in. His first at-bat of this game in the bottom of the 4th.
You don't have to be super fast, you just got to be fast enough. Jackson Woodard beating that out. Improving his batting average and getting on the right side of things at the plate, something he's been struggling with as of late. You alluded to younger brothers facing each other in that last matchup. But you have Trip Bonderman playing at Chiawana. You have in the MCC also Trey Holdren playing at Southridge. And you have Ty Repko out at Hanford. So some legacy, formerly Big 9 names, now MCC names, back in the fold in the baseball world. Parker Smoot only, or a 500 hitter, but only has 2 at-bats this season.
And he goes down on 3 pitches. That's exactly what Kyson Mackey needed to be able to get himself started.
Coming to the plate, second
3
baseman, number
fastballs and a
23,
strikeout.
Dylan Perez.
Now another sophomore coming up to bat, except for he's batting at the 1 spot. Dylan Parrott. Still Jackson Woodard there at first base. Pitch. Low for ball 1.
And a tall, lanky pitcher throwing to a not-so-tall batter in Dylan Parrott, so we'll see how Kyson Mackey navigates this at bat.
Mackey's throw down to first. Not close. Woodard not much of a lead. Now the 1-0, showing bunt. Pulls back for ball 2, 2-0. Looks like Sisney and Mackey worried about Woodard at first base. The pick-off attempt and the throw down on back-to-back pitches. Neither of them close. Woodard isn't a big base-stealing guy. Parrott shows bunt again. He misses though, 2-1.
In the fall, Woodard definitely more of a scrambling quarterback, not necessarily a running quarterback. And scrambling really only when he needs to.
Swung and chopped to second. This could be 2, but it's fumbled. And Parrott beats it out, but he's kind of limping around there at the first base side. He came in pretty slow. Looked like he took a bad first step after hitting, but the tough air from Cooper Sisney at second. Excuse me, I said Twitty on the last hit, but Sisney took over there at second. He
Now
drops that
batting,
ball.
shortstop number 3, Carter Upmeyer.
If anything has been the Achilles heel of this Riverhawk team this season, Ryland, it's been errors. They're second in the conference in errors with 37 as a team. They're tied with Walla Walla and Southridge.
Upmeyer takes that first pitch for ball 1. A pretty close throw down to first. Parrott was able to get back in time. 1-0 to Upmeyer. This isn't the batter that you want to kind of lose the count. You want to stay with Upmeyer. As he said, he's hitting super well this year, and it's lefty-righty. Pitch, Upmeyer takes, strike 1, 1-1.
Sisney's going to sneak up on you back there behind the plate. He's a very smart player and very confident in his ability. Not afraid to sling it over to first, try to get a cheap out.
1-1 to Upmeyer inside. Strike 2, 1-2. Mackey gets ahead of the count. Check back to second. 1-2 pitch to Upmeyer. Thinks about it. Check swings, but does not go around. 2-2 even count. Another 2-2 to Upmeyer. Swings and chops that one down the line, but it's going to roll foul.
Everybody clap your hands.
A little bit of sigh of relief from Mackey on the mound after that ball barely goes foul. That's always a tough one for the pitcher. You get a batter like that to roll over and miss a ball that badly, but it goes exactly where your third baseman isn't, but instead rolls foul. So it takes a deep breath and hops right back on the mound to repeat the pitch. 2-2. Goes back to second. Not even close, but almost skies that one over Sisney's head as well. Got to be careful. Pitched up Nair. Swung, popped up. That's going to stay in play. Calling it off is Sisney, making a diving grab. A tough play for out number 2.
No, this you're watching. That's the 4th inning of the first game. That's the second game.
So play there by Tate and Sisney, not quite getting all of that offering was Carter Upmeyer, but
Stepping in, the catcher, number 5, Hayden Galloway.
Hayden Galloway 2 for 2 on the night so far. 2 singles, doing his job exactly. Looking to get another one here. Most likely will score that runner from second. Yo to Galloway. Galloway skies that one to left. Or excuse me, right center. That's going to drop over the head to the wall. Galloway kind of stumbles his way into second, but that's going to score both runs. So Dylan Parrott will score along with Jackson Woodard. The Bombers tag on 2 more, and Galloway's going to check out. Checking in for a pinch runner is going to be Drayson Elfrey, the sophomore. So Hayden Galloway coming in big again for this Bomber offense. 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double.
great hitting continues for Hayden Galloway. That's now his 8th double of the year. Leads the conference. His 27th RBI also leads the conference, and he had a great piece of hitting at Kamiakin. Put a ball right out to the 380 barrier. That would have been a home run in probably any other park in the MCC, but out at LaPierre. Out at LaPierre Field, he was a victim of those long fences. Again, 380 in left center.
And that one was hit pretty hard, but Diego Sabalza there in center field getting put in this inning after the pitching change. Looking like he made a bit of a mistake. He took that first step in. It was just a couple inches away from catching that one, so he probably getting in his head, wishing he could get that one back. Oh, Ravel outside, strike one.
A discussion prompted by head coach Grant Richardson, most likely into fielder interference because Galloway and Sisney, the younger Sisney, Cooper, ran into each other between first and second. So Grant Richardson not being given the free bag.
And that ball is blasted into right center field over the head of Sabalza again. Michael Ravel with another huge exit velocity. That one, instead of a single, that's going to get to the fence for a double. He hits his little celebration and will score Drayson Elfrey from second. The Bombers taking a 9-0 lead from the bat of Michael Ravel.
Michael Ravel continuing to
stepping in,
drive
left
runners
field,
in, no matter if it's
Brennan
on a safe hit or a sacrifice hit. Most of them have been sacrifice hits. I'll just guess that at the top of my head. But Bell's second RBI of the game, his 18th of the year. 9-0 Bombers here as Brandon steps into the box. So we're going to courtesy runner here for the pitcher, Michael Ravel.
15, Tucker Watkins.
Tucker Watkins again.
Last time Watkins came as the courtesy runner, he stole third, and then off an error from the throwdown, scored from home. If he's able to do that again, the Bombers would be up 10-0, and they could possibly be seeing a mercy rule if they could shut out the Riverhawks if they score one more next inning.
Jason Elfring also doing a great job being the main courtesy runner, pinch runner for this Bomber team.
That one's
scoring
skied
his 9th run of the year.
and popped up way out of play. Foul ball. Brandon down 0-2 to Mackey. Runner in scoring position. Pitch swung in line. That's going to be a tough play, and it's going to drop in time. Brandon's going to have to hold at first place, but scoring is Tucker Watkins. So a really, really tough play out there in left, and Garrett Short was unable to reel it in. And the Bombers tack on once again, another, making it into double digits, 10-0.
Now batting, center field number 6, Caden Castro.
Caden Castro staying in the game even though he's facing a lefty. First pitch high and outside, ball 1.
Talk about a well-placed ball off the bat. Center fielder playing towards right, left fielder playing pretty much straight away. Put it right in between the two for a single for Jake Brandon.
Count even 1-1 to Castro.
Very late timeout granted to Jacob Brandon there in the middle of Mackey's windup.
Mackey's reset and pitch, swung and missed. Strike 2, 1-2 to Castro.
And I'm not sure it counts or matters too much in this scenario, but I believe those non-pitches, if a pitcher does throw it and a no pitch is called, I believe that still counts against their pitching total. So if you encounter one of those things later on in conference play or into the playoffs, it could be one of those unique situations.
2-2, grounded to second. This should be the third out, but no, it goes right in between the legs of Sisney, his second error of the inning. Cost Chiawana, and then he almost gets hit on the backside of the throw-in. Comes out balls us, so now runners on the corners for Braylon Edwards. And Sisney, now they try to stay out of his head, the freshman with 2 errors this inning. Mackey could have been out of it with not even allowing any runs, but instead 2 infield errors from him result in an extra run and runners on the corners.
And Sisney committing his 4th and 5th errors
Stepping in,
of the
first
season.
baseman number 4, Braylon Edwards.
Not helping the Riverhawk cause, no doubt.
Edwards takes the first pitch, strike 1. Swings and flies that. That's no man's land, but it's going to draw foul. 0-2.
Scoring up update from Columbia Playfields real quick. Lady Bombers in command 12-0 over the Kennewick Lions in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And Lady Bombers on a roll, 15-1 so far, number 2 in the RPI.
Have you done a score check this season where they haven't been up by double digits?
Only the game at North Creek.
And that ball
goes foul. Only the game at North Creek, their only loss of the season, 6-5, and by all accounts, they should have come away from that one with a victory, but Lady Bombers, big threat. Seems like every year they're a threat, though. The program has been strong for a long time.
Just need to get over that hump. 0-2 to Edward, takes that high for ball 1, 1-2. Riverhawks in kind of a weird fielding position in the outfield. They have the guy in right playing really far to the line, in center playing far right, and then in the left field, nobody's there, and that's going to sky right over the head of the Riverhawks for another RBI. So Braylon Edwards, not the hardest hit ball, but it does the job and gets over the head of Adrian Chavez. It's now 11-0 Bombers.
Last inning, you said Braylon Edwards might be a little
Now
bit
batting
upset
third baseman
that
number
the run
2,
scored
Jackson
via error. He
Woodard.
couldn't have an update or a opportunity to get an RBI, but he gets his RBI there, and Bombers score another one, all is well.
And another line to right field, drops in time for Woodard. Digging for home and standing up easily is Caden Castro. So Jackson Woodard, you talked about struggling behind the plate, but today now 2 hits on the day and tallies an RBI, advancing Braylon Edwards to third.
Bombers have batted around here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Parker Smoot led things off. Bombers have plated 6 in the inning, double up
Stepping
their
in, number
score.
19, Parker Smooth.
Ball.
Ball 1, 1-0 to Parker Smoot. His last at-bat, he saw 3 pitches, struck out on those 3 pitches, so are you doing a better job in his second at-bat? Umpire seems as if he tightens his zone just a little bit when there's 2 outs. He saw that pitch kind of identical in a couple other innings, being called for strikes, but with 2 outs, tightens that zone. Once again, outside, ball 2, 2-0. Gonna be a strike called. Getting back in time is Edwards.
Balls, 1 strike.
Your sister, you guys, she won 16-1 game.
2-1. Slide into right field. Trailing foul. And it drops. So Reese Burkhead trying to turn on the wheels and get the 3rd out of the inning, but it just gets out of his reach. Parker Schmoo will have to step back in with the count even.
Smoot trying to get back to 500 overall. As I said at the top of the inning, batting 500, but only had 2 at-bats to that point, this is being his 4th.
Schmoot choking up on his bat, trying to fight, swinging at anything close, fouls it off, still 2-2 count. Pitch kind of gets to chop at it. First strike 3. The Bombers get retired there, but not without scoring 6 in the bottom of the 4th inning. After 4 innings of play, it's the Bombers 12, the Chiawana Riverhawks 0.
Now pitching for the Bombers, number 18, Eli Doby.
Welcome back to Bomber Field as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. New pitcher on the hill for your Richland Bombers is Eli Doby. Takes over in relief for Michael Ravel. Ravel, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs surrendered, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Ravel, 54 pitches and 35 strikes. Eli Doby, again the sophomore, 5 2/3 innings pitched, only 1 hit surrendered, no runs, 1 walk, a 0 ERA, and 5 punchouts for the sophomore this season. Ryland, if you were looking for closer matchups around the MCC today, they just aren't happening. Hermiston down 5-0 to Southridge over in South Kennewick at Boyd Johnson Field, up 10-0 over Walla Walla. And Kawaiikin up 5-0 in Pasco, playing the Bulldogs.
And coming in for Trip Bonderman, Chiawana Riverhawks making a change, putting in the junior Ruben
Leading out the
Candinosa.
fifth for the Riverhawks, left fielder number 6, Garrett Short.
A lot of lopsided scores here around the MCC, Brylan, as we get down to the final couple weekends of the conference schedule where the playoffs start. Again, Richland 1 game back of the Kawaiikin Braves, 3 games clear of the Hanford Falcons. And Chiawana looking up at the Hanford Falcons, 2 games adrift of Hanford. Hanford surprisingly losing to Walla Walla in Walla Walla on Tuesday.
Pitch just high and inside for ball 3, 3-1 the count.
Walla Walla and Southridge battling for that second MCC seed, way behind the Kennewick Lions in control.
Swung and grounded to Woodard. Woodard fields it, throws down the first in time to Edwards. Retire the first out.
Coming to the plate, pitcher number 10, Kyson Mackey.
So Kyson Mackey giving up 6 last inning. Coming in to hit. Swung and fouled off on the first pitch. The 0-1. Down the middle, first strike 2, 0-2. Mackey going down early in the count. Count in Eli Doby's favor. He can play around, do whatever he wants. And he goes with the fastball outside, first strike 3. Mackey goes down swinging. 1 more out for Eli Doby, and the Bombers will win this one due to the mercy rule.
Stepping in, catcher number 7, Cooper Sisney.
First pitch of Sisney, skied into center, calling off his Castro. He makes the grab, and the Bombers win game 1 by not much of a narrow score, 12-0 on the Chiawana Riverhawks, led by those 2 big innings in the first with 4 in the first and 6 in the fourth. Obviously, Meyer, what are your takeaways from game 1?
Great opportunistic offense from the Bombers. They kept hot. They had a little bit of a lull out in South Kennewick against the Kawaiikin Braves at LaPierre Field on Tuesday, but they continue overall in conference play increasing their hitting and making that an advantage for them as we head to the latter half of this conference schedule. But Michael Ravel pitching really well, 4 innings, only 54 pitches. Infield playing well for the majority as well, rolling up 2 double plays and helping Ravel in some of those situations where Ravel was in jams.
Yeah, no, exactly. And also shout out to Eli Doby coming into the 5th and doing his job. The Bombers with a good win, bringing that momentum into game 2. So thank you, Meyer, for game 1. And after 4.5 innings of play, the Bombers win this one 12-0.
Attention, Little Leaguers. If you'd like to round the bases, please make your way down to the home dugout. Again, any Little Leaguers here in attendance, please make your way down to the home dugout. How about a big hand for our Little Leaguers? Here they come around third. Let's cheer them on. Hopefully 2037 state championship team right there.